disclaimer before I get started is that I am not a teacher. I am a student of the greatest teacher. I would like to share with you what I have learned in the study of Cumin. First, we'll take a look at the words used, the definitions, and the scripture in which it is used. There is an Hebrew word, kasa, which is Strong's number H7100, that means to incise or carve, engrave. A fennel flower, fitches, or black cumin. It's used in Yeshayahu, Isaiah 28:25, and the word Cumin is Strong's number H3646, means to store up or preserve. That's used twice in Isaiah 28:27. In Greek, the word kimonon, Strong's G2951, is dill, fennel, or cumin, which comes from the Hebrew, the H3646. And we're going to take a look at Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 28, verse 22 through 29. Now therefore, be ye not mockers, lest your bands be made strong. For I have heard from Adonai Yahuwah Sabaoth a consumption, even determined upon the whole earth. Give ye ear and hear my voice. Hearken and hear my speech. Does the plowman plow all day to sow? Does he open and break the clods of his ground? When he has made plain the face thereof, does he not cast abroad the fitches, kasa, and scatter the cumin, cumin, and cast in the principal wheat and the appointed barley and the rye in their place? For his Elohim instructs him to discretion and teaches him. For the fitches, kasa, are not threshed with a threshing instrument, neither is a cartwheel turned about the cumin, cumin, but the fitches, kasa, are beaten out with a staff, and the cumin with a rod. Bread grain is bruised, because he will not ever be threshing it, nor break it with the wheel of his cart, nor bruise it with his horsemen. This also comes forth from Yahuwah Sabaoth, which is wonderful in counsel and excellent in working. In Tehillim, Psalm 92:5, it says, O Yahuwah, how great are your works. Your thoughts are very deep. Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah 32:19. Great in counsel and mighty in work, for your eyes are open to all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his deeds. So what I received from the message in Isaiah, deep message, is don't be teachers or interpreters unless your instruction and chastisement be made to help, cure, and encourage. I have discerned, understand attentively from Yahuwah of all creation, and end and completion, to decide over nations, the whole world. Listen, attention, obedience, and witness. Call aloud and attend, give heed, obey his voice and commandment. Be silent, rest, listen. Everything takes a while to produce or yield seed. Be set to harrow a field, the whole inhabited earth. He brings forth and levels the part that turns and accepts, disperses to incise, to carve, preserves to appoint, to rule. Plant, designate to fear, to shear the region. Chastening, the Almighty corrects, he measures and directs. Certainly carving with a sharp instrument, breaking to pieces with sharp teeth. Circling, to revolve on every side, preserving till the carvings are knocked out, with right ruling. Storing up, to branch off. Consume on food crushed with a foot, seeing truthfully. Tread out to crush. Seek the chariot, crushes to separate. Bring out from Yahuwah of armies, to separate, for purpose to nourish in wisdom and understanding. Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah 4:3. For this is what Yahuwah said to the men of Yehuda and Yerushalayim. Break up your tillable ground, and do not sow among thorns. 23:29. Is not my word like a fire, declares Yahuwah, and like a hammer that shatters a rock? Koheleth, Ecclesiastes 3:1 and 7. To all there is an appointed time, even a time for every pursuit under the Shemaim. A time to tear and a time to sow, a time to be silent and a time to speak. We'll take a look at Matthew 23:23. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! because you tithe the mint and the anise and the cumin and have neglected Aleph Tav. Aleph Tav is spoken written word of Elohim, okay, the mark. Okay, you neglected Aleph Tav, the weightier of the Torah, the right ruling, the compassion, and the belief. These need to have been done without Aleph Tav, neglecting the others. Verse 24, blond gods, straining out Aleph Tav, a gnat, and swallowing a camel. That goes back to Amos 6:6 for a reference. So what I receive from this passage is, alas, interpreters, teachers that sting and wound, pretenders and actors, taking a tenth from anyone careful to observe this requirement, right, of the Levitical priesthood, scattering on floors of your synagogues and sacred sacrifices for purification and preserved Aleph Tav, but forsake authority, the purpose of the law of Moses and the gospel, justice, compassion towards the poor and afflicted, obedience, belief in Mashiach, belief in Yahuwah is necessary, Aleph Tav. But neglect it and transgress the law. Self-conceited leaders you filter through, Aleph Tav. You drink the wine in bowls and anoint yourselves, but swallow or devour and destroy, treating a person well. Yashayahu, Isaiah 42:3. A crushed reed he does not break, and a smoking flax he does not quench. He brings forth right ruling in accordance with truth. Luke 11:42. But woe to you Pharisees, because you tithe the mint and the rue in every plant, and pass by the right ruling and the love of Elohim. These you should have done without leaving the others undone. So we see there's two accounts of what he said there, right? Two witnesses, slightly different messages, but same meaning. 18:11-12. The Pharisee stood and began to pray with himself this way. Elohim, I thank you that I am not like the rest of men, swindlers, unrighteous, adulterers, or even as this tax collector. I fast twice a week, Aleph Tav, and I give tithes of all that I possessed. Okay, so we see there he was boasting aloud of his works, right, to be seen in front of everyone. Hosea 6:6. For I delight in kindness and not slaughtering, and in the knowledge of Elohim more than burnt offerings. Micah 6:7-8. Is Yahuwah pleased with thousands of rams or 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my being? He has declared to you, O man, what is good? And what does Yahuwah require of you but to do right, and to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your Elohim? Yochanan, John 5:42. But I know you, that you do not have the love of Elohim in you. Psalm 119, 1-8. This starts with the Aleph, our strong leader. Baruk, blessed are the perfect in the way, who walk in the Torah of Yahuwah. Baruk, okay, blessed are those who observe his witnesses, who seek him with all the heart. Even they shall do no unrighteousness. They shall walk in his ways. You have commanded us to guard your orders diligently. Oh, that my ways were established to guard your laws. Then I would not be ashamed when I look into all your commands. I thank you with uprightness of heart when I learn the right rulings of your righteousness. I guard your laws. Oh, do not leave me entirely. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love for Yahuwah, that we guard his commands, and his commands are not heavy. So Moshe was brought out of Egypt, much like us in spiritual Egypt. Today, we had to go through it to know what it's like, right? The customs, the additions, and so on. Once you're brought forth or taken out to the understanding, we are to show others the way. We are called to be a light, how the law or the instruction was given for compassion, correction, and love. We know what it is like to have received his compassion and mercy on us. When Moshe was instructed to write the commandments from Yahuwah, to engrave them in stone, the children of Yahshua were busy worshiping their idols, abominations, and the ways of the world. They didn't want to follow what Moshe was sharing or teaching with them. So he broke the tablets. Mashiach came to take out the stony heart and to give us a fleshly heart, so that we aren't just doing the works because, right, just because, or to be seen, but having them written in our hearts, being obedient out of love. On one side, you have Judaism that keeps the law, but they forsake our Messiah. On the other side, you have the Christian religion that acknowledges Messiah, but forsakes the law. Neither is right. We must understand and acknowledge that through Mashiach's atonement, he is our high priest, okay, meaning the Levitical laws, they've been completed, right? Go back to Leviticus 27:30 and Deuteronomy 14:22 through 23. Okay, so the tithing laws. Ours is our first fruits, right? Our first fruits to him. Our mediator, right? We believe in him and we follow the instructions. He's the mediator. Our sacrifice, meaning no burnt offerings and slaying of animals. He's the door to our Father, and he came to show us how to walk in the way. Now for some uses of cumin. The word kasa is for black cumin. And here I have a little illustration of what that looks like. Not in its pure form of seed, but in a capsule. And black cumin is a smaller and bitter, sweeter seed. It's called the Nigella sativa. It's a flowering plant native to Southwest Asia, later adopted in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. Used as a flavoring spice and a food preservative in a variety of Persian and Indian foods such as bread, yogurt, pickles, sauces, and salads. In North Africa, traditionally it's used to manage headaches, asthma, bronchitis, fever, cough, and influenza. Also, intestinal parasites when combined with wormwood. It's also known as black caraway or black onion seed, and that's the word kasa. Then we have the word cumin, the cumin, and that is like this form here. And that is a pungent, sharp, slightly sweet, greenish brown powder, mostly used in Mediterranean, Indian, Middle Eastern, and Mexican dishes. It's a member of the parsley family. Cumin plants grow up to 1.5 feet tall and is harvested by hand. It helps fight flu by boosting the immune system, promotes healthy digestion, treats upset stomach, controls stomach pain, indigestion, diarrhea, nausea, morning sickness. It stimulates the menstrual cycle. It's a diuretic, an antifungal, a laxative, treats laryngitis through gargling. It's a good source of iron, manganese, and other vitamins. Stimulates production, pancreatic enzymes. It protects against memory loss. It's a high antioxidant content. It increases insulin sensitivity that might lower blood sugar. It's anti-asthmatic properties. So we see there are metaphorical and spiritual and literal meanings. Some people grew their own food and they didn't have to go to town to buy it. They knew exactly where their food came from. People paid tithes on their herbs, and they were valuable commodities. Mint, anise, and cumin were the herbs of the kitchen garden and were not grown in large quantities, which made it difficult to provide sufficient quantities to satisfy the priests. They were all utilized in cooking, medicine, and offerings as first fruits to the priests. 2nd Esdras, chapter 5, verse 27. And among all the multitudes of people, you have chosen your one people, and unto this people whom you loved, you gave a law that is acceptable for all. It is my hope that you have received something from this study. We ask Father to teach us how to use his herbs in a proper way to bring healing to our bodies and lean on him for understanding. Greet with peace, show kindness, compassion, stay humble, share the good news. Don't lose heart, keep searching, stay guarded. Shalom, shalom.